In this video, I would love to show you guys how to measure and how to cut and how to sew agbada. But before we go into that, I would like to answer some of the questions that might be running through your head right now. What yard of material can I use to make an agbada? So when you are making an agbada, you can use 4 yards of material to 5 yards of material to make agbada. So what about that material that is being measured per trouser length? Use of 3 trouser lengths to make the agbada. So now, how to take the measurement of agbada? So when taking the measurement of agbada, it is very simple. All you need to do, you only need 2 measurements: the back measurement or the sleeve measurement and the full length of the agbada. So the first measurement you need to take is the back measurement or the sleeve length. When taking the sleeve length, you are going to take it from the center back of your client or of your customer down to wherever the client want the agbada sleeve to be. It can either be here, here, or here, or here. You can use any of it. So in this case, you measure from the center back of your client down to wherever you want the agbada to be. So in this case, the sleeve of this agbada is 27 inch. So that is all for the back or sleeve measurement of the agbada. And the second measurement is the full length of the agbada. So when taking the full length of the agbada, you are going to take it from the shoulder of that client to wherever, or to your own desired length, or to the client desired length. That is all for the measurement of the agbada. So the next thing we are going to do now is how to cut agbada. Here is the measurement that I'm going to be using. This is A/L agbada length, and this is the agbada hand or the sleeve. So agbada length here is 34, and the sleeve of my agbada is 20 inches. So this agbada basically is for a kid. The same thing, the idea behind it, the adult one and the a kid are almost the same. So there is no difference. I'm going to give you a detailed explanation on how to cut the agbada. The wideness of this material here is 24, and there is one of 30 inches wideness. So in this case, you are going to take the length of the agbada and add 4 inches for the sewing allowance. So the length of the agbada here is 34. Then I'm going to add 4 inches, and that will be 38. The 4 inches is for folding and sewing allowance. So the next thing we are going to do now is very simple. We are going to cut it like this. That is by separating it, the 2 material from each other. So after you've done that, the next thing we are going to do is to fold this material over like this. You fold it over like this, and you are going to sew it from here down to this other side. Once you've done the sewing in this form, then you will now open it like this. You now open it, then you top stitch it. So if don't worry, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So this is the sewing that I was talking about that time. This is how to do the sewing. Then after you sew it in this form, you are going to open it like this. You're going to open it like this and take it to this other side. Sorry. And you are going to stop stitch it like this. And I'm going to show you when I am done with that. Done with the top stitch already. So the next thing I'm going to do now is how to get the neck of this agbada. So if you want, in order to get the neck of this agbada, it's very simple. You are going to note half of this material by folding it over in this form. Then create a gator here. So this will be the middle of this very cloth or agbada. So in order for us to get the neck, is very simple. This agbada, I want to make use of a round neck for this agbada. So you can use any shape of your choice, but in this case I want to use a round shape of this agbada. So that I would like to give you the idea behind the neck of an adult agbada. If it is an adult agbada, the width of the neck will be 6 inches wide. I'm going to do the drawing here so that you will have the idea behind the neck of an adult agbada. So in this case, you are going to mark 6 inches as the wideness of the neck, and the length of the neck of the agbada will be 10 to 11 inches. In this case, I'm going to make use of 11 inches if it is an adult agbada. So I'm giving you exactly how the neck of an adult agbada will look like. Now, 3 inches wide. This is how to cut or how to cut the neck of an adult agbada. So this is how to do so. So the next thing we are going to do now in the cutting of the neck of an adult agbada, for especially the V shape, from here now you can create any of the shape you want. This is how the neck should look like. So from here you can create any of the shape you want. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to flip the other material that I'm going to use for the embroidery of this agbada from the wrong side to the right side. I'll show you that. So now this is the wrong side of the material. This is going to serve as the embroidery of my agbada. So this is the neck of the agbada. So I'm going to turn this to the right side of the agbada now. So what you are seeing now, this is already the right side of the material. I've already turned the material from the wrong side to the right side already, and I've already hemmed my agbada design already. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to sew along my agbada design. When I'm done with that, I will show you. So as you can see, I'm done with the sewing of my agbada design. So the next thing we are going to do now is the sleeve of the agbada. The sleeve of the agbada. So in order for us to be, like I said earlier, when you are taking the measurement of the agbada, the sleeve of the agbada, you take the measurement from the center back of the agbada or your client. So in that case, I'm going to measure from here to this side, of which I have approximately 12 inch. From the center back to the edge of this material is 12 inches. So in this, since it's 12 inches, 1 inch is going to be serve as my sewing allowance, while 11 inches is what I'm going to make use of now. So like I said, but from our measurement, the agbada hand is 20 inches. What you are going to do now is very simple. You are going to subtract 11 inches from 20 inches. That is 20 now minus 11 inches. that will give us 9 inches. So 9 inches. So the sleeve of our agbada now is going to be 9 inches with the exclusion of sewing allowance. And when we are adding sewing allowance to this 9 inches, it will become 11 inches wide. So in this case, the reason why it's 11 inches wide is because the sewing allowance, the attachment to the agbada itself, and the folding at the other side of the sleeve. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here is the agbada I showed you that time. This agbada is a different one. This is an adult agbada, and what we did here, we used another material. This is a vintage material to fold the edge of the agbada. So this is a custom made agbada. It is according to the client desire. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. This one is wide, but the one I'm going to use for this one, the fold in all the sewing allowance here will be 1 inch. So viewers, in order for us to get the sleeve of the agbada now, we are going to make use of 11 inches wide. So this 11 inches wide is very, very important. That is what we are going to use to cut the sleeve of the agbada. So in order for us to, what we are going to do now, here is the material I'm using. It's still the 23 or 24 inches wide material. So it's going to be on fold, and I'm going to cut out 24 inches out of the material. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because, you know, this material is 24 inches wide, this is 24, and so this 24 inches wide can give me the two side sleeve of the agbada already when I divide it by 2, because it's going to be on fold. The two material like this, what I mean is that from here to here is 11, right? And from here to this other side, I will also be able to get 11 inches from there. So this one will be for the front side of the agbada, and this one will be at the back side of the agbada. Hope you are getting the message. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Here is the sleeve joining of this very agbada here, and what I'm talking about is that look at the shoulder of the main agbada. Here is the shoulder. Then we have the front side sleeve and the back side sleeve, and here is the joining at the shoulder also. This is where we join the shoulder, and the same thing is applicable to the back, to the other side of this agbada. So in this case, we are going to have 4 separate material with the wideness 11 inches. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Hope you get the message now. Let me do the recap again. The sleeve of the agbada will be 2 for one side and 2 the other side. So that will be 4 material or 4 sleeves. Then you will now join two sleeves together, and where you join, the joint will be at the shoulder of the agbada, one for the front side of the agbada and one for the other side of the agbada. So I'm going to cut this sleeve now. Like I said earlier, the length of my agbada is 34 inches. Then I added 4 inches for sewing allowance. Notice, add 4 inches for sewing allowance. So when you add 4 inches to 34, that will be 38 inches. So I'm going to cut 38 inches. In the case of this idea of the sleeve of agbada and the sewing allowance and everything is also applicable to an adult agbada. So if it is an adult agbada, the best way to do it is very simple. If it is an adult agbada, the sleeve of the agbada can be 23, can be 24, but this one, for this kid agbada, the sleeve of it is 11. or it can be 20 or more than that. It can be 30 something also. So if it is an adult agbada, you also apply the same method that I'm applying to the kid agbada. Just follow the ideas, all these things that I'm saying, then you'll be able to cut successfully an adult agbada. So I'm going to cut out 38 inches. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to divide this material by 2. No, what the best way, what I'm going to do now is to take the 11 inches from this material, 11 inches wide, then cut out the remaining one. This is 11.5. Make sure it is 11. Now I have 11 inch already. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to trim out the remaining material out of this material. Trim it out like this. Then the next thing we are going to do now, like I told you, we are going to have 4 sleeves at the same time. We divide, we are going to do this, cut out this part. So this is, we have 4 sleeves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the wideness is 11 inches. So this one is for this left hand sleeve of the agbada, and this one for the right side of the agbada sleeve. So we have our 2 sleeves now. So the next thing we are going to do now, what we did on the shoulder of the main of this main agbada that time is what we are going to do, same thing we are going to do on the sleeve. This is what I'm talking about. What I did here. This is what I'm talking about. So we are going to fold it over in this form, then you now top stitch it. I'm going to show you when I'm done. Now I have done that already. I've already sewed the shoulder of the sleeve. So the next thing I'm going to do now is the sewing allowance which we left, that I talked about earlier in the video. So I'm going to fold in 1 inch for the side, for the sleeve of the agbada. This is the outside sleeve, not the one that will be joined to the main agbada. So this is, I'm going to fold in 1 inch sewing allowance, and I will sew it all through this. So guys, I'm already done with the folding of the sleeve of the agbada. So the next thing I'm going to do now is how to join the agbada sleeve with the agbada. But before we go into that, where you may not have witnessed, or you should have seen agbada before. The shoulder of the agbada is always wider than the down part, or the upper part of the agbada is always wider than the lower part of agbada. So here is how to do it. Agbada always has a small sewing here before an opening. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here is the down part of the adult agbada that I have here. Here is the down part of the adult agbada. If you check very well, this is the lower part of the agbada, and this is the upper part of the agbada. The upper part of the agbada is very, very wide. It's wider than the lower part of the agbada. So the reason why is that it is only the upper part that you fold over your shoulder when you wear it, while the down part remain as it is. Hope you are getting the message. The upper part is where you fold over your shoulder there, and leaving the down part the same way as it is. That is why the upper part is always wider than that of the down part, because you don't fold the down part. So for agbada, you can see how this one is. This is the down part already. So we made a stitches from this side to inward, and it ranges between 3 inches to 5 inches. You can use any of the number you wish for the stitches, just to cover the agbada down part only. That is the reason why we are doing that. So for an adult agbada, you can use 3 inches for the sewing. You can use 4 inches to 5 inches. So recommendably 4 inches is enough for the down part sewing. So for this key agbada, I'm going to make use of 3 inches to 4 inches. But in this case, I'm going to be using 3 inches for the sewing of the down part. And then that 3 inches that you sew, you are going to multiply 3 by 2. That will be 6 inches. Then that 6 inches is where you are going to cut out from the agbada. Are you getting what I'm saying now? The stitches is going to be, I'm going to stop the stitches here. Then from here to here will be add to the agbada itself. That is the opening at the down part. So what I mean is that I'm going to cut out these other parts from the agbada sleeve, because the down part of agbada is always smaller than the upper part of the agbada. So whatever number you use, you multiply the number by 2, then you now cut out the remaining material that is at the other side. This is the 2 agbada already. So the opening at the down part of my agbada will be 3 multiplied by 2, that is 6. So I'm going to cut out this part of my agbada. So I'm going to cut it out in this very form. It shouldn't be straight, or you can make your ruler to do the shaping. You shape it from the upper part down to the down part. Here is how to do it. Do the shaping from the upper part of your agbada down to the lower side of your agbada. You can use your ruler or your free hand to do the shaping. That is how it is done. Don't forget this: 3 inches for the stitches, then plus 3. Then where the 3 is, that would be where you are going to cut out of the agbada. If you use 4, you multiply by 2. Even though it's an adult agbada, multiply by 2, that is 8. Then that is where you are going to cut out. If you use 5, multiply it by 2, that is 10. So it's as simple as that. But always keep the upper part the same, because that is where you are going to fold. So the next thing I'm going to do now is the joining of the sleeve of the agbada to the main agbada, and here is how it is done. This is the main agbada, and this is the sleeve of the agbada. This is the right side of the agbada, and this is the wrong side of the agbada. So what you are going to do now, you are going to allow the wrong side of the sleeve agbada to face you, the wrong side of the sleeve agbada to face you, then the right side of the main agbada will face you. Then you are going to place them together like this. That is with the wrong side of the sleeve and the agbada inside, while the right side will be outside. Please don't forget this: the right side of the sleeve and the sleeve of the agbada and the agbada itself are going to be outside, while the wrong side are going to face each other. So after that, you are going to apply the same sewing method you apply to the shoulder of the agbada. That is the method of folding it like this, sew it, then open it up and top stitch it. I'm going to do that now. Hi guys, I've already done the sewing of the sleeve of the agbada. Hope you can see that. Here is the sleeve, here is the main agbada and the other sleeve of the agbada, and this is the sewing that I was talking about that time. So yeah, I'm going to confirm. Okay, that is the sleeve already. So guys, the next thing we are going to do now is the length of the agbada. The length of the agbada is 34 inches, right? So we are going to measure from here downward and take that 34. Here is the 34 inches, and from here to here will be our sewing allowance. So what you are going to do now, like I said earlier, I'm going to use 3 inches for the down part stitches. 3 inches, that I'm going to sew from here to here, 3 inches, but that will be done on the wrong side. So I'm going to turn it to the wrong side now. So I've already turned it to the wrong side. There, this is where my sewing allowance will be, and the stitches will be 3 inches from here to here, 3 inches from here to here. Then I will stop. After that, then I'll do the same thing on the other side. What I did here, I'll do it on the other side of the agbada. Then I will now turn it like this, turn it like this. Then I will do the hemming, or I'll do the folding of the whole down part of the agbada. I will show you what I'm talking about. So guys, I've already done the sewing or the stitches. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn it like this, over like this. You know, this is the opening of the downside of the agbada already. So once I do this, then I'll fold it inside. Then I'll now follow that pattern or that sewing allowance from this side to the other side. Follow that sewing pattern from this side to the other side. Fold it in and do the sewing. I'll show you guys when I'm done with that. So guys, I'm already done with the sewing of the down part of the agbada already. You can see this is the opening of the down part of the agbada. So I'm going to turn it to the right side. So this is the final look of the agbada. Hope you can see it. This is the final look of the agbada. It's not yet ironed yet, but when you iron it, then it will become very, very perfect. But before that, let me show you how to fold agbada, especially an adult one. So the first thing you will do, you are going to fold it like this, and it will then leaving the design, embroidery design like this. Then fold it, this one, over to the one you folded again. You also do the same thing to the other side. So after you iron it, that is when you will do this. Then fold it over again. Then the next thing we are going to do is to fold it like this, and you have your final look of the agbada. So I'm going to show you how the agbada look on my boy that I made this agbada for. So this is how the agbada look on him. So there's going to be an inner wear for the agbada, but currently the inner wear is not here. You can see how it looks. Thank you guys. If you are here to be a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and give me a thumbs up so that YouTube will recommend this video to other people. Thank you.